What up, guys? Today we're gonna be doing Superman. It literally just came out on digital, so I decided to react to it. I've been kind of excited for it, not fully, cause I don't know it's been a mixed reception from people, so I don't know what to expect. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be better than the last two movies we watched. Well, I watched, and some of you guys watched with me, and that was Jurassic World, Dominion, and Rebirth. If you want to check those out, you can there. And yeah, hopefully it's a tenth better than those movies and I will enjoy it. Let's go. Okay, that is really cool. Wow, he lost. That's how we're starting with him having a loss. That's really cool. Okay, I'm kind of excited now.
Crypto.
No, Crypto's meant to be like a genius dog, but I love that he's just playing around and he thinks they're just playing. That's nice.
And live out Krypton's truth. That place.
In the original adaptations, obviously they just send him here because he could potentially live here and survive here, but they knew that he could become like an insanely powerful, um, like meta human basically. But there were some iterations where they just kind of sent him away, and it was through, I think it was like Kara, like his cousin. It was through her in some adaptations where he then shifted course and went to like Earth, or is that, or am I thinking of something else where Kara is the one who goes to Earth first and then he like goes to a different place or like takes longer to get there? Anyways. So in most adaptations, they don't say that he will directly do the most good. They just say that, he's going to be powerful there, but they hope that he can find a home there and be good. So a bit of a twist, which means that they knew obviously of his abilities, but also that he would become Superman, a bit like a fated destiny type thing, which is fine. But it does change the theme, slightly because the theme of Superman was always about how he could have been anything. He could have been a villain. He could have just ignored people. He could have used his powers to give himself more power and money and all these things, but he chose to help people and be a common Clark Kent. And there was no like fate, destiny thing. It was just his choice. So, but it's fine. It's not. Guy beat him up and didn't follow him because Superman is super fast. And I would have loved to see the fight. Like, how strong is this other person? The Hammer of Bolivia, or whatever that was. How strong is this guy? I hope we get to see him again. And it's not just like a whole, well, we're gonna jump to Lex now. But yeah, how fast and how strong is he to actually keep up with Superman, but also not chase him either? That's kind of weird. Like, he's not chasing him at all. Maybe we're gonna see. You know what? Let's wait and see. That one was a bit of a strange, cringy type choice because Superman never screams like that. I guess he's screaming from the pain of regeneration. That's what I'm guessing. But when he's absorbing the sun, he's always like calm and tranquil. It's like the sun is just calming him and giving him more power and grace to be able to just slaughter his enemies. But this will be a different adaptation slightly, I guess. But yeah, I've never seen him scream at that ever. But it's, or let me say from what I've seen, because I'm pretty sure there's adaptations somewhere where he does.
No can do, for I gotta get back to the fray.
Okay, so they're basically doing like a Batman type thing. You know how Batman doesn't have any powers, and so he gets like beaten up constantly, and he would fight till the end, go to bed broken, bruised, and then like put exoskeletons and all types of medicines and everything to ensure that the next night he's fighting again. They're basically doing that with Superman, except with metahumans, and I guess, but I don't know. It's just kind of strange because for me, Superman is like an invincible person who gets defeated in different ways, usually mentally breaking him or questioning his own belief systems. There's been many different adaptations that have done this well, and the entire point is that even the most powerful person in the world, who's literally invulnerable, could still be broken emotionally or mentally, and be changed and be infallible in different ways rather than power. So this, I mean, I'm pretty sure they could still do it, but yeah, it's kind of weird that they went through the Batman type approach. I don't know, but it's okay, I guess. And the whole thing about 83%, I guess that's to show that oh he's willing to fight even when he's not 100%, which yeah. But let's continue.
Himself into our affairs.
That looks a lot like a video game. I cannot lie. That looks like a cutscene from a video game. Him alone. Everything else obviously looks like it's there, but he really stands out, and I guess it's the texture they're using for his suit, but he really looks like he's not there. It's still a lot better than the CGI we've been getting lately from Hollywood, but it's very, very noticeable.
12C.
So who was the girl? And now it makes sense why this dude is able to keep up with Superman, because of Lex Luthor. Okay, that also didn't look the greatest in terms of the rocks flying up. But I just wanted to say, Lex Luthor obviously showing his absolute genius, and I guess the movie's gonna be about how Superman gets over him, since Lex Luthor is such a genius that he can telegraph Superman's very movements to the point of exact simulations of how to counterattack him and everything else, which is genius. It shows the obsession he has with Superman, establishes very much who Lex Luthor is. But the issue again, and it kind of goes back to the previous movies as well, I don't feel a ton of tension in the scene because I know Superman could just do what he did and just run away, I guess, or fly away, heal, and come back and keep doing it until he finds a solution. So don't really feel like Superman's gonna lose. So I guess the tension would be, how does he win instead of is he gonna lose or not, like actually die. So
100 fight moves for any situation.
yeah, that was incredibly cringe and just bad. Why was that in there? Why was the dialogue in there? It was bad dialogue because obviously everybody would know, and even if let's say a person didn't know, like that girl didn't know, I don't think we need an explanation. I think it was pretty clear what was happening, but okay. It's just very strange dialogue, and it felt like you're trying to over explain, like we know what you're doing, but maybe there were people who didn't.
I gave you free falafel.
It's just so funny that this dude is spouting off how the hammer of Boravia is gonna, wreak vengeance, and no one cares. Like literally, the dude who just beat up Superman is talking about how he's gonna just wreak havoc on the world, just unleash havoc, and they don't care. they they don't get. They just concerned about Superman, and I get it. But no one, not a single person, is like, whoa. Even if Superman got up, we have someone who's this capable. But I guess this would be comic world Metropolis where they are used to this. That's what I'm guessing is happening, because it can't be regular our world Metropolis type thing except Superman and superheroes exist. So this would have to be the comic version. This is why this lady keeps taking selfies, and there's like a Superman versus Bolivia fight and she doesn't care. So I'm gonna guess it's like a comic book thing happening. It's not, again, I said this in the last reactions, if the characters don't really care, I tend to not care because the danger feels less dangerous because no one cares in the story. So, yeah, but I guess the entire point is to have Lex figure out more about Superman for whatever reason or plot he has. I don't know, I feel like the execution could have been different, and you could have shown the people actually being concerned, because even now they're looking at it at Superman with confusion, and I get it, but I don't know. I just that dialogue felt so bland, like him saying, "Well, you should have never fought." Like it's just, they didn't need to be there. No, it didn't. It feels so weird, and the delivery was so bad. Like, it feels like they don't care. It feels like they are legit in a movie. I can't lie. It feels like everybody's in a movie and they've been told, hey, do this. And the director told the guy, hey, come out and say this. It just feels so out of place and weird. It just messes with the immersion because nobody except Lex and Superman is taking what's happening seriously. Even Lex's tech people are kind of just, they're just treating it like it's a regular day. And I get it. But as a viewer, it's hard for me to connect with the tension if only two people care and everybody else is just like, oh, this is a regular Tuesday. This is a regular, simulation. It's just weird. Here we go. That's what I wanted. A little bit more of a reaction, but I see that Lex's girlfriend, I suppose that's who this is. Like portraying her as a very ah man, a very social media type person, let me say. Now, oh yes, suit looks phenomenal. Like this practical or more of a CG plus it looks great. It looks great. Please use this version a lot more than what I saw the first time. What? Did he just cross through a dimension to get... Wait, what? So he flew away to another boom tube, crossed through that boom tube or whatever. This could be close to a boom tube. Went through into another dimension, whatever that was, and I'm guessing Superman's gonna fight there at some point, and then came back here. Oh, okay. There's gonna be an explanation. I know there is.
Do these unelected
It was Hammer of Bolivia creates havoc. Okay. Why is there no title that would say Superman lost? Because that's what happened. He legit lost. I know it's printed by the Daily Planet, who are pro Superman, but come on, to sell papers, like, they're not gonna say Superman lost with like question marks. I feel like that would have been, dude, that would have been such an headline, like such a attention grabber, instead of just, oh, Hammer of Bolivia caused havoc. Okay, did he lose? Like, like you would think, okay, he fought Superman and potentially lost. I don't know. That's a bit of a nitpick for me, but I just don't like how what happened is just brushed over. Like,
So you want the Defense Department to hire your metahuman?
wait, that was supremely cringe to call it Planet Watch. Just felt like you could have come up with something better, unless if it's a joke and it's meant to be funny. But okay, I understand what he's doing. He's trying to discredit Superman to show that Superman cannot handle the hammer of Bolivia, whatever. However, he's gonna like have a robot or someone else fight Ultraman, and Ultraman's gonna win, and he's gonna get a government contract, blah 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 blah, and he's trying to prove that humans could potentially do or reach the heights of Superman just with the right science or whatever, and that Superman's not special. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's not what I expected, but it kind of is. Again, I still want people to react better to what's happening, but okay. Okay, so they determined that Luthor literally is basically selling weaponry to Bolivia, or whatever that place is called, for $80 billion. And all of a sudden, he now has a Superman replacement after the incident in Bolivia, and it's his own team, and he also wants to question Superman with his own team? What? Like, come on. Obviously they didn't accept, but the reasons as well for not accepting were weird, like, oh, Superman's popular. We can't really touch him. And then his response is like, oh, well, chatter online. Chatter online? Like, what? What is this? It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, there is no way the government, and I don't know how to compare this government either to I'm going to use our real world government in our world. even though this is more of a comic book type version. But there's no way our government would ever even allow Lex to even talk to them if they found out that, oh, he actually could benefit from both sides getting into a war because he would be selling weapons to both sides. Oh, he just created like all of a sudden he created like a Superman clone, and the same week he announces this Superman clone, there was a guy who was as strong, as fast, and who can also fly like Superman, who's beating Superman, and at the same time he's propositioning that Superman should be imprisoned, potentially killed. Like, how does no one think, oh, he's behind this? Surely they think that, because there's no way you wouldn't think he's not behind this. Like, you would immediately be like, wait a minute, you created the dude, because he's in a suit, so it's not like we can see him. It's not like we can see his face and Ultraman's face and be like, oh, these are two different people. They both wear masks. Okay. And they're not concerned that this dude who's willing to sell to the potential enemy, to sell to someone who tried to harm the United States, right? Who tried to go to war with them and sold them for sold all his weapons for profit, has a super army behind him. They're not concerned that he could just use that army to manipulate anything he wants to gain more power and money. Like, why are we brushing over? This is Lex. Oh my days, dude. The issues in this movie so far have been people not responding adequately to how crazy some of this stuff is. And it's making me mad. Because there's no way the government would just be like, oh yeah, Lex is cool. I really hope there's a scene where they talk to Superman to try to clarify things with him, and also tell him, hey, Lex has a super army, could you keep an eye on them? There's no way, right? There's no way. And if Superman has been around for years and has been saving people for years, it's not just about popularity. He has good credit. It's not just about, oh, there's no maliciousness. He literally saves people at his own expense repeatedly. And you're gonna say it's because he's popular? Let's continue.
With the glasses.
So they are dating, and it was all a huge cover, and it was a bait and switch. So this movie is just gonna be a bunch of bait and switches. Okay, got it.
Ready?
So they've been dating for 3 months, and this never came up. That's kind of strange. Again, it's not really, um, it doesn't really break any writing. What am I saying? It's not really bad, but still, it just doesn't make sense that they never talked about this ever, it's very weird, especially since he's been interviewing himself. But okay.
Sure, its spikes were like not even that big.
What? Dude, if this comes out, oh my days. Okay, I see the type of Superman adaptation this is, and I can understand why. I'm just weirded out by it, because Superman would never do this. I understand if he was still becoming Superman, sure, or if he was hanging out with Batman, and Batman was teaching him how to be a hero. But yeah, my form of Superman would never torture a president, because that's literally what this is. He tortured him to get him to stop a war. My Superman would just try to politically deal with it, and if he can't, then he would get involved. But he wouldn't torture anybody. He would just continuously stop the war until they saw that there was no point in trying to, because they're losing resources. That's what he would do. He wouldn't torture anybody. But again, adaptations, I guess, it's just very weird, Superman doing that. Maybe the point is that he learns to become a better Superman. What? So you know that you're basically assassinating the character of Superman at this point. You're portraying him to be a guy who just picks whoever he wants, regardless of history or not. Portraying Bolivia as the victims in this case, and you're portraying him as someone who just would be willing to kill anybody, regardless of, or to kill anybody who gets in his way of whatever he deems is righteous. That just That's a bad look for Superman. Wow. And y'all have been dating for 3 months, and she is basically portraying Superman as just as a villain in this entire story. That's crazy. I get what they're trying to do with Lois Lane, but wow, really, really, Lois Lane would do this? Okay, it's very poor because she's mad that he's getting mad, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing a good job being interviewed, and you're being a bad interviewer," and she's getting mad and pressing him, bro. You are assassinating the character of your boyfriend, of the hero of your entire city, of the world. I don't know if he saved the world yet, but he has the potential to. Because you're mad that he's kind of saying that you're being a bad interview, but that's not his point. His point is that you're being a bad girlfriend right now. Because literally people are on the fence with him. World leaders are on the fence, and and you are interviewing him and provoking all these responses from them. I hope she keeps this to herself and writes a different type of paper, because this is crazy. If she actually puts this out there, wow. But I don't think she will. I think she's doing this for a different reason, maybe to try and show that Superman should be a lot more responsible for what he's doing. Because, man, if she publishes this, it's crazy. It's like if Batman was being interviewed by Catwoman, and she was saying that he's a torturing maniac who chooses whoever is a good guy and not a good guy, and he doesn't murder people, but he cripples people and does all these crazy things to people solely for doing petty crimes instead of dealing with corrupt politicians. It's like that. That's crazy. But okay.
In a war that lasted between 12
Wait, what? Okay. So you expected Superman to just chill and do nothing? And how is the world getting worse? Because all the hatred is towards Superman. The war is effectively over. Now all of it, all the animosity is towards Superman, which is what he wants because he can handle it because he's Superman. Like what? Like people would have died. I don't know where this movie is trying to go with what Superman should be doing. I get the point of he should be more politically involved, and be more responsible with his choices, but this is basically the same thing that happened with it's not as bad, but it's basically the same thing with Man of Steel, when Pa Kent said to Clark, "Hey, don't save me, just allow me to pass on." And the other time when he said you should have allowed those kids to basically just drown. Like this is the same it's the same type of argument. Like, bro, he's Superman. He's Superman. He's going to try to save people regardless of what the politicians think. This is also the argument in Civil War, right? Like it's like, yes, you could potentially make things worse, but your primary objective is to save people. Okay. What is going on? I'm really trying to see the side of Lewis here, but I can't. You are villainizing and making your boyfriend like into this idiot who's out of touch and does and just makes bad decisions and is just all over the place, and his priorities are off the wall and they're completely sideways, and what are you doing? What is the point of this? What are you doing? Y'all were kissing and being happy a moment ago, and it's like you're unleashing every single or irritating, annoying thing that you've ever felt about him, and it is so weird. Like, what is going on? I'm probably missing some context, and that's why I'm not fully getting emotional or mad or anything, but it's so This whole movie is just so weird.
But what do you know
You
about?
just try to question where he landed. Why? Like, I don't. It's like she's acting like they don't date. Like, she doesn't understand why he wouldn't want people to know certain things. Like, it's so weird. I'm trying to get to the point of maybe she's doing all this to show that Superman, yes, may not be fully competent of everything or be responsible or understand the geopolitical nature of things, but he's trying, and this is like his sad backstory of how he was just sent here to save people that he barely knew at the time, and he grew to love this place as his home because he doesn't have another home. Maybe that's the angle, like the whole sweet, loving buffoon type angle. Maybe that is what this is, because if it's not, that's crazy. But maybe this is her way of getting to know her boyfriend more because he's more closed off. Maybe that's what this is. And all that anger and whatever that was is her frustration over how he's so closed off. Maybe she doesn't even know where he's from, like where he grew up. Maybe. Because any other explanation, I have to say it though. That's the point he's making. You didn't have to say it. You could have said any other. I don't understand what she's doing. I don't get it. Is this what good journalism looks like? Because you have to both think about your career, but also think about the person that you love. This is so weird. You're getting him emotional and he just sounds all over the place. Can you imagine if Lex got this clip? Is that what's gonna happen? Lex is gonna get this somehow? Because if that happens and Superman becomes villainized, it's all her fault. It's all her fault if that happens. Because he needs like some show of some point of malicious intent from Superman. But this is it's so strange the way she's doing this. Man, it's been a very strange movie for me so far, but this is such a strange portrayal of their relationship. I don't like it. I don't. Um and I know obviously there was probably some adaptation somewhere, some comic book, some part of a series, something where this could happen or has happened or whatever. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't. It's weird. Like that whole fight was what? What was the point of aggravating him knowing that he's just gonna run away? Aren't you gonna try and find another way to talk to him? And I don't like this portrayal of Superman as this like very highly emotional, incompetent, irresponsible type of guy. I don't like it at all. I'm not a fan. It's like taking Batman and literally having title like a bunch of words or at the beginning of the title screen saying, "Oh, Batman's been Batman for 20 years," and then you see him and he's extremely incompetent, or he just causes a lot more war, and he has a relationship with Catwoman where they're fighting all the time, and it's like, bro, what is this? I would understand. I really would understand if this was him becoming Superman and trying to balance his emotions and everything else, but he's been here for a long time. They've been dating for 3 months, and now you're having her say, "Oh, I was never good with relationships. I told you." Huh? And I understand her point is, "Oh, you never want to really express how you feel about things," but he kind of did though. And you kept pushing his buttons more and more, and I don't know, I would react that way. Maybe there's something wrong with me because I would just walk away because I would know that, oh well, there's gonna be a fight now, and I don't want to be in a conflict with you. I just don't. Especially after getting beaten up and continuously told that it's your fault that this crazy dude continues to beat him up and cause havoc in his own home like city. and he keeps losing, and your big idea was, oh yeah, I'm gonna do an interview where I push him to his limits and I basically say that he's irresponsible, he tortures people. He's like, what? Like, what is the timing of this, ma'am? I'm on Superman's side on this. There's probably gonna be some deeper point about how he doesn't deal with his issues or problems or whatever, but the way they're portraying it, the execution, I'm not a fan. I'm just not. Guessing they're gonna explain that he either has something of Superman on him or some form of Superman's DNA for this to be able to happen, because without that, this makes no sense. But anyways. Dang, so she's like fully nanite, complete nanite body type person. Alright. I mean, okay. I guess you could kill her by throwing her into the sun.
You get in?
Just like, why was that dialogue there? The delivery, just everything around it was so weird. Like, the whole thing about Superman from Lex, fine, but then her reminding him is like, it's bad. It's bad. Because he would know that. He knows. Why is he saying that? Whatever. Again, could have been delivered much better, could have been in a better sequence of dialogue. Basically reacting to what people are saying about how he just causes more destruction. Okay, that's good.
Everybody, clear the area!
Well, I forgot that these guys were in here. Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl. I forgot who the other person was. But okay, so they're cheering for them, I guess, because they are better at what they're doing. Again, this would make so much sense if Superman just arrived, like he just arrived and he's not been Superman for a while and been saving people for a while. Like, did you put like oven mitts on it? Why did you do that? I don't understand the logic. Wait a minute. This is the issue with Green Lantern powers. You could create anything. Why don't you create like a giant cage that could fly him out of there or something? Because the only limit is your will and how much energy the ring has based on how much, for how long did you charge it for. So I don't understand. Why wouldn't you just create a giant cage and fly it out of here? You could create a giant rope, pull it out of here. You could create a giant sword to try and stab it. You could do a lot of things, and you're creating oven mitts because of a joke. Okay.
Good.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you could literally do anything, and he's deciding to just poke its eye out, basically. Why? You're just gonna aggravate it, and it might even cause more destruction and put more people in danger, and people are cheering for these people? Why? Exactly. Because it's aggravated, it's creating a lot more destruction, and people's cars, insurances, all types of craziness is gonna happen to their wallets. And this could have been avoided if they followed what Superman said about taking it out of here. But apparently Superman's the irresponsible buffoon who doesn't think about anything and just causes massive amounts of destruction off of one incident. One incident so far. So again, Superman saves them, saves everybody, decreases the amount of collateral damage that could have happened, not only to people, but property. Apparently, he just causes billions and billions of dollars of damage, and here he is preventing that, and has been the entire time, except for the fire thing, which again, it's not his fault. And he couldn't really do anything about that, and that was one floor, actually one room on a floor. And Guy Gardner, who has the powers to literally do anything, just continues to put that thing in its eye, to keep poking its eye out, and allow Superman to do everything instead of, I don't know, creating some giant pulley system to lift this thing out of here, a giant cage that could fly, putting it inside of an orb so that when it lands inside of an orb and doesn't crush people. Man, like putting a whole lasso around its neck to lift it, like anything, bro. Anything Guy Gardner could have done, and he didn't do none of it, and people could have died. And let not the argument be, well, no. Like, he would have intervened eventually. He would have intervened if it got that close. How do you know that? How? Because he's been doing goofy nonsense ever since he came up here. Like, and people were cheering for them over Superman, who's been doing stuff like this for years? Okay. Literally puts it in an empty park. He lifted it by himself to do all this. Where's Guy Gardner, bro? Like, nah. Guy Gardner should be lifting this thing up, man. You have the power of will, right? Or go and charge your ring, come back and lift it up. Like, what? Is there a limitation to his ring now? Like, what is happening? What is this? This is the issue with introducing Green Lanterns in this series, because they literally could come up with anything for any solution with creating any material except organic, potentially. I don't know if there's any comic book stories where they can create organic material, but they can make anything inorganic for as long as they want, or as long as they will, that the ring can last for. And he did none of that.
I was hoping we could capture it and take it to an intergalactic zoo or...
Where Guy Gardner literally looked like he was on Wise when he landed, but...
Tech Industries for the opportunity.
Are we trying to say the kids are the only ones who appreciate Superman and the adults do not? Which, in this universe, could potentially be accurate. But is this like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of joke towards us that we now want anti-hero type people? I mean, you think of the popularity of The Boys and the popularity of a lot of shows that have more, like Peacemaker, you know, Suicide Squad, that have more of a very villainous / hero type complex where they can do bad things, kill people, do all these things, and do it in brutal ways and not really care. Are you trying to say that people want those heroes now and the kids are the ones who care about Superman? Because that's not accurate. You're talking about the mainstream people, and maybe you're pointing this to mainstream people, but people like me and probably people who watch this movie, some who enjoy this movie, they want more Superman. They really do. Because Batman's getting a resurgence. They want more Superman, more Wonder Woman, more, I don't know about Green Lantern, but more of the Flash, a better one. They just want heroes, right? And yes, sometimes people want the edgy, more realistic type portrayal, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for this universe, because people have been saying Superman causes collateral damage, and he didn't. He didn't in this one. He didn't in the last one either. Like, you're gonna say him being smashed into the concrete is his fault? Like, this would not happen, bruh. I'm sorry, but if a person showed up and was risking his life to save people 24/7 and was successfully doing it for years and never once took advantage of his powers, you think people just flip on him that quickly? Like, immediately the mother would take away the kid would be like, really, Superman? Dude, they would think they're lying. For clicks, you portray that this world is a lot more connected to social media. You're telling me none of these people are like, nah, this is like clickbait. Nah, this is a headline to get people going. Like, none of them? All of them are immediately like whispering like, oh, could this be true? Like, what? And yes, people have been on the fence, but brother, on the fence doesn't mean on the verge. Yeah. Like, on the fence does not mean that you're right there. It means like you're questioning things, but you still have hope that it's not what you potentially think it is. What is this? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Descendants to rule the earth.
That sounds like the dumbest, stupidest thing I think I've ever heard in my, like, I think if I existed in this universe and I heard that, and maybe people will say, "Oh, you're biased because you are a fan of Superman," and I would be in this universe too. But again, the fact that no one, the fact that so many people are just like, "Oh yeah, this is true 1000%," and they're not like, "Wait a minute, he could just be lying. They could have just made this up." Like, you can't try and portray a story having an element of our reality and then not take the facets of that element seriously, in the sense of social media is filled with people lying. Governments, politicians, all types of people, celebrities, regular folks, they lie all the time for clicks, for attention, all the time. And so if social media exists here and it has like the same lingo and the same patterns as our social media, you're telling me nobody on that platform is saying this is a lie? Whether it's on actual international television or not, or national television, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Misinformation is a thing. People can lie. You're telling me none of these people are like, wait a minute. Like, what if that is all staged? You're telling me no one, after years of Superman saving them, is thinking this is all staged? Really, guys? Like, really? Come on, nah, bro. This ain't it. This is stupid. This is stupid. One person, only one person, the falafel guy, one person is seeing this as a lie. Maybe the whole other planet, or all of Metropolis, is like, this is weird. This is strange. What? Like, you just want to impregnate women and do all these crazy things. And by the way, here's a crazy theory. Even if that was true, do you understand there would be people who agree and people who want Superman to do this? Like, there would be a huge crowd of people who champion this idea, even though the majority of people just think it's a lie because it literally came out of nowhere. Superman just saved people's lives. He just saved their life. I'm mad now. Now I'm mad. I was giving this movie like some grace and some time, but the decisions it's making with Superman genuinely are either very, very forward and there's not enough time to actually build towards this conclusion. Like, this feels like it should have been close to the end of the movie to see how Superman would counteract this. There's an hour and 30 minutes left of this movie. Like, what are we doing here? So what, is Superman just gonna leave and not be Superman because people think he might be a weirdo who wants to like impregnate people and dominate the world? And also, dominate in what way? Lord in what way as well? People would be questioning, what does that mean? Does it mean like he's just gonna be a tyrant king, or does it mean he's gonna change the world for the better? There would be people who are on his side and say, you know what, I would want Superman as government. I would want Superman as king. Especially the people he saved against Bolivia. They would be championing this idea. Like, there would be a lot of people. I mean, bruv, look at our world. Our world is insane. There would be so many people who would line themselves up to carry the kid of Superman and potentially share in the power and the money. And it doesn't make any sense why so many people would not only believe this, but also be completely against what is being said, especially with them not knowing exactly the parameters of his ruling or whatever that would mean. Again, this would be a smaller crowd, but the former, there's no way people would just be like, oh yeah, Superman is bad now. He just saved our life. He just did. We could have been killed. But you know what? Nah. That's not real. Like, what? Come on, man. This is so dumb This is so dumb, and I understand there'd be people who dislike Superman anyway, and who could use this to platform their hate, but to have no one actually question what's happening is crazy. And if the government just go along with what Lex is saying, knowing that Lex is looking for a government contract would be even dumber. It would be beyond one of the dumbest things that I've seen in superhero movies. If the government is like, you know what, Lex? Yeah, like we can't verify the source. We can't determine that you didn't make any of this up, especially looking for a lot of money, especially knowing that you double deal with people, especially knowing that you're a liar. But yeah, it's cool. We're just gonna give you a government contract and create the super friends with your people. Come on.
Is already.
He just Lex Luthor just used the words harem. His secret harem. Wow. You know, if this movie was a comedy, I think it'd be a lot better. But it's hard for me to take what's happening seriously at all. Like, at all. It really is, but okay. So, Superman is also incredibly slow. I was gonna question, why didn't you just go home? Why are you walking into some random building? Like, the writing choices in this can be so bizarre. And also to have a dude who does not know Kryptonian technology basically say, "Oh yeah, these dudes wouldn't lie." No. It's real, bro. It's like, what? Why doesn't he just go there to confirm if it's real or not? Why does he have to say it's real? Weird writing choice.
We have to act.
Okay, so the dude asks, "Do you buy this?" And your response is, "I'm not stupid, but at the same time, it's real." How are we confirming? I'm guessing they're looking at like the metadata or something. Again, this is Kryptonian tech. Whatever. Okay, whatever, dude. Or whatever. This is so dumb. And now we have citizens like, "I was a huge fan." And again, this would be cool if, yes, there was a set of people who just hated Superman who are lying and saying, "I used to be a fan, but now I hate him." But there should be other people who show up on TV and say, "This could be fake," or "This could be taken out of context." Like, people wouldn't just switch on someone who's saving people's lives. Bruv, the government barely helps people and just fishes money out of people through taxes and manipulates people and does all types of things for their own benefit. And people still would trust them because they've done good here and here and here. Look at the ANC in South Africa. Like, South Africa look at how terrible its economy and its electricity and everything that's going on around it. And people still put faith in ANC because of the good things that they've done in the past. Like, it is so hard to get people to turn away from what they feel is comfortable and is good and has repaid their faith, especially a Superman. A Superman. Again, there would be people who would be secretly hating Superman, thinking, nah, something's off. Like, no one would ever be this good. 1000%. But there would also be a huge crowd of people who would defend him till their death, bro. Look at how people treat celebrities. Look at how people treat athletes that they love, football clubs that they love. Regardless of what bad thing they do or they're involved in, people continue to love and support them because of the good moments that they've given them. And you're telling me people collectively would just be like, "Oh yeah, throw Superman in the bin. Get out of here, man." This is not only is this way too forward, it just wouldn't happen. And it's not believable whatsoever. I don't care if this is a comic world or not, it's just not believable. It's not. Yeah, that's the other wrinkle in this. No one is thinking, wait, hold on a minute. If you had a secret plot to impregnate women and create like a new super meta human race of people that were gonna rule Earth. Why would he save people? Why would he go into this squabble that again involves these countries that are not the Bolivia, that are not these like ginormous countries, and save them and risk damaging? Because Lex was like, oh yeah, he's trying to groom us into being the good guy. Then why would he do that? Wouldn't he just not get involved in things that are potentially controversial, in things that could potentially ruin his reputation? Like, no one is thinking this. Everyone's just a bumbling idiot who believes anything on TV. Okay. I don't like that they keep using the word harem. It just sounds so weird because that word is mainly used by people who are familiar with and who consume anime. It would not. So we're saying Lex Luthor watches anime, which whatever, but they would be using words like brothel, like his secret brothel, his secret gang of women, like something else that's a lot more adult. Yes, harem is said by adults, but you know what I'm saying? Like something a lot more hard hitting than harem. Harem just sounds goofy and sounds weird, and every time someone says it, it ruins the immersion for me. Is it supposed to be funny? I don't understand why you don't use other words like brothel or something else. Why use harem?
The Jarhan War.
The robot's trying to unalive itself. Yeah, that twist is not really much of a twist. It was kind of obvious that they were working with each other, especially when Superman kept saying, Bolivia is not a great nation, or at least government-wise. And yeah, that's not much of a twist. The only twist I would say is that that's not another dimension. It is like Lex's lab, I guess. I don't know why it's so incredibly dark, but yeah. I understand the whole thing about Superman being incredibly irresponsible at times, but and being highly emotional, but why would you do this? You smashed through his window all the way into his office. He probably has cameras, and he was the one who revealed everything to the world, so you're adding validity to what was said. Again, if the world wasn't so quick to believe that Superman is such a villainous guy, this could have been a great scene, not only because it shows Superman again being too highly emotional, but also kind of the genius of Lex being able to manipulate him to this point. And then Lex could have shared this whole footage to the world to be like, you see, he tried to harm me after I spilled his secrets, which would have added validity to the story. But nah, no, everybody believes it, so it doesn't matter.
Discovery of the Kryptonians' master.
None of this matters because y'all turned on him immediately, so this is all pointless. Literally everybody turned on him. Who's this trying to convince? Like, I guess Lois Lane? I don't think she needed much convincing either. I don't think anybody in this universe did, apart from the falafel guy. He's the only person that would see this and be like, dang, am I wrong? Everybody else doesn't care at this point. I don't know what the point of this is. I guess more ratings, more eyes. And also, y'all knew immediately that I actually, never mind, because she would have, maybe she was on Instagram Live, whatever she was on. But yeah, man, hold on, bro. So you're telling me Superman's just given up on trying to save people? He just gave up at this point, like I said would happen. Also on his dog too, like you're not gonna use your X-ray vision at all. Like we're not gonna get a scene of you using X-ray vision. You're literally beyond bullet fast, and you could have used your X-ray vision to search through the whole building. And then, since superheroes also exist in this world, you could have gone to the computer guy and said, hey, I need you to find my dog, because I don't care if people hate me. By the way, this is what Superman would do, right? He would do everything to find Krypto. And then after that, he would then try to get help from anybody who would listen to him to fill in the gaps of what he can't do, because he's not a tech genius. And then he could have had that guy who seems like a tech genius to try and help him clear his name and try and figure out is what the message is. The message like maybe it wasn't taken out of context. He would do that. He would also continue to save people regardless of if they like him or not, because that is Superman. That is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. That's the Justice League. They don't care if people like them or not. They do it to save people. That is why they do it. So Superman wouldn't just be like, oh, well, people think I'm creating a harem. No, Superman would be out there fighting that alien and it would be helping. He wouldn't just stop, because stopping would prove to the people that it's true. Like, bruv, what is this, man? And Guy Gardner, bro, he has the powers to do anything, and he's like doing lasers. You're not trying to just again tie up its tentacles and do something. You're not doing the eye thing that you did that was somewhat effective. You're not doing anything.
That's the real punk rock.
That was good. That was good. That was a good response with him saying maybe that's the real punk rock. That's cool. And yeah, at least he's acknowledging that it was literally her fault for the fight. It just was. Like, that was instead of a kiss, okay. Maybe a contractual thing. Maybe she didn't want to do a kiss, but yeah, okay. Wait, no, what? What am I talking about? They were kissing earlier. Why not kiss him? Oh, response from Lewis? No, like, I love you too, or anything, or acknowledgement, or okay, you got some relationship issues. This Lewis has some serious relationship issues.
Planet Watch.
Are we being for real? Are we? They literally did one of the dumbest things ever. Lex was the one who revealed the whole message. Lex had the biggest incentive in the world to do all of this. He gains the most out of everyone on the entire planet, and you gave him everything he wanted. Everything he wanted, without question. Surely someone is gonna help Superman. Surely someone has a brain in the government, bruh. Surely. This is this is so dumb from everyone involved. Like, what is this? Nobody in the big brain government was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. The same month that this incident happens, and Lex could have gained billions off of a war. He gets pissed off. He introduces the whole Planet Watch. He then, in the same month, gets a perfect evidence he needs to incriminate Superman after we denied him getting the whole contract and getting his way, to then giving Superman to him to basically interrogate with his own supergroup, with a guy that has the same height and build, or near the same height and build, as the Hammer of Barivia. And also, where is the Hammer of Barivia? Like, what is this? Where's the connections? Where's the brain? Where's the synapses that is meant to connect all of this? Where is it? This is insane, bro. Not only would the government be able, or someone in the government be able to make the connection, but also the people on the ground. Like, what? People would have known, wait a minute, Planet Watch is actually under Lex Luthor? Wait a minute, Lex Luthor created them? Wait a minute, wasn't Lex Luthor the one who came up with the message? Wait a minute, Lex Luthor actually could have benefited a lot from the war because he sells, like, he's an arms dealer? No one is making these connections. Nobody. Okay.
Multiple dimensional portals I've set up around the globe. Rex.
What? So Luthor literally created a pocket dimension? Okay, so I was correct. Oh, okay. Okay. Alright, I guess he's a genius, but wow, he literally created a pocket dimension. Alright. It's very powerful. How is Superman gonna get over that? That's actually insane. The dude could just stab him and he's dead. Okay. That's interesting. Let's see what happens. Oh, the Bolivian people are invading. Who cares? Who cares at this point?
Question.
Have you found out where they're holding Superman?
No one in the government will say.
Oh, you're gonna get diabetes. Oh my days. But does that solve the issue of them not making the connection? No, because that makes it even more suspicious. That makes it worse. Like, he actually gave them arms for free, and y'all couldn't make the connection that he did it to get rid of Superman. Wow. Okay. So Jimmy Olsen is incredibly attractive to people, just fine. Um, and he somehow has connections with someone who has superpowers, I'm guessing. Again, this could be a reference to some hero in the DC universe who can gather information at light speed and make insane connections. And that was incredibly dissatisfying. Again, I would have loved to see Lois be Lois and find it out herself, but Jimmy, I guess, has a mutant person who loves him. And why mutant toes? Like, does he love toes? Is he a feet guy? Okay. I was just very dissatisfying to watch.
Hashtag super shit.
Man, why is this movie getting worse? What? Why? Why? Again, are you saying that people on the internet are brainless monkeys who will literally rage bait for clicks? Which I understand what you're trying to say, but why though? You know? This really lessens the entire. It makes things worse because now there isn't like a huge gang of people who dislike Superman. It's all fake. So, and I kind of did say it was, but this is worse because why did so many people turn on him if the majority of it, did they just believe the bots? Again, if we're going to compare the social media to ours, people can tell when something is a bot. People can say, oh, that's just, farming for clicks. So in Superman's world, they can't make that distinction. Also, are we now gonna say the people who showed up on TV were paid actors? Is that what we're gonna say next? That they were a bunch of paid actors? Which will then make it worse because why were people throwing cans at his head? Were they paid actors? I'm getting into conspiracy, but why do this, man? This is so stupid.
We'll learn what we can, then we'll put.
Means, how in the world did you incapacitate him? I know you used the nanite thing, but how did you then carefully put like neural links basically into his brain to project squirrels? Like what? Man, I guess you used kryptonite, I guess, and he fell asleep and you're able to do that. But then wouldn't he tell that this is all fake? I guess he's a dog. This is just so dissatisfying, man. Have a type. Again, this is so petty. And yes, Lex Luthor is incredibly petty. But like ex-girlfriends now? Really? You're gonna imprison ex-girlfriends? And I guess this is a way for them to establish the other metahumans that exist that could potentially be either good or bad. So, this is their universe tie-in for future movies.
Because he made a point to tell me about all these ex-scuff.
So, Lex is basically being defeated by the fact that he is dating shallow vein women who has an obsession with Jimmy Olsen. Because a lot of women in this universe do. Really? This is how we find Superman because this woman is obsessed with Jimmy Olsen. Okay.
Know that if I could get some real dirt on him.
This is just so boring to watch in a Superman movie. I'm pretty sure there'll be people who found it funny, but it's just so boring to me. Why is this here? Did we really need to see this? Couldn't we just continue the chats or maybe have them be on video call, that would have been even better because she loves to take selfies. Just do a video call. Let that be the plot twist. Did we need a full-blown scene like this? Ay, man.
And then
Feet guy. Okay. I didn't think we needed to know this info about Lex, but I guess this is meant to be funny. This whole thing was written by James Gunn, so, or directed, whatever. Both. Say Lex doesn't know this is happening, and if he does and he's allowing this to happen, that's severely incompetent because it jeopardizes his plan with Superman being imprisoned. But let's go with the scenario that he doesn't know. So Lex is being bested, outsmarted by her, basically. Wow. Wow, okay. What a way to completely diminish the character's genius. It's actually crazy. Is that like some sort of commentary on how guys can be, bested by women that they love? Guys can be tricked or manipulated by women that they love, basically? Like, is that what the commentary is? So there's a lot of commentary in this that doesn't really need to be in here, but Joseph doesn't want him to talk to him because it would make him feel bad and guilty. And obviously Superman's gonna try. I like that whole conflict that's happening. And yeah, he's obviously panicking. He doesn't want his son to die. That's good.
You put nanobot GPS trackers in your friend's bloodstream?
Oh, I do that.
He's like the Batman of whatever this is. But also, you released an article saying that. But why though? I guess she's a journalist and she may want people to know, but I don't know. Are people gonna care? I don't think they're gonna care. I think they would care that someone has access to a pocket dimension. That would be groundbreaking. But I complain about this in Rebirth, but movies tend to put in groundbreaking things and there's barely any reaction. Especially since this seems like a secret technology that people don't know about, but I guess Lewis is lying, or Lewis is not a trusted source, but my TV is. Maybe. I don't know.
That haircut should be against your vows.
That what?
That was great. That was phenomenal. I've been looking at it for so long, and I know Guy Gardner has that haircut, but it's worse in real life. It's bad in the animated shows and the comics. It's so bad in real life. Wow. Again, why is Lewis being portrayed like this very awkward, very all over the place character? It's so weird. Like, why do this? Why make Lewis be like this? Is there a point? Is there like a long game that we're gonna do? Is she gonna become like a villain or something? Or is she gonna... I don't get why not just make Lewis Lewis. I don't understand. Usually, if there's a change in the adaptation, it's because there is a grander point that's being made. This whole relationship thing is so separate from what's happening. It's not like, is it affecting anything? She thought about breaking up with him. If she broke up with him, okay, that could have affected Superman, but she didn't. This is such a weird dynamic, such a weird thing. And they made it such a big subplot. For what? Like, why? I hope there is a bigger point than just, oh, Lewis is not the usual perfect, confident Lewis that you're used to. I don't like when people do that either. Like, they change adaptations just to change them, and there's no greater reason. Like, give a reason why this character is not like the usual other depictions of them. Give a reason. Don't just be like, oh, Batman kills now because Batman kills. Like, no, like, give a reason why this character is a mess when they usually are the confident, very competent, very, very bold character that they are. She's the opposite of all those things. Let me say she's also incompetent in the sense of just herself and relationships. It's very weird.
Anyone, Luthor?
Don't tell him nothing, Superman. I have no family.
Okay, so again, I get it, Luthor's evil, but how is Luthor gonna tell if Superman's lying or not? Like, how are you gonna tell? It's not like you have any apparatus or anyone with superpowers to read his mind. Like, how are you gonna tell he's lying? It's just so, it's such a weird choice. Luthor created a pocket dimension, even if it was on accident, and he was able to use it perfectly. He replicated the Big Bang. And you're telling me he couldn't find another way except the whole cliche, I'm gonna kill someone you care about thing? Like, you couldn't find someone with superpowers who could read his mind? He couldn't create a machine that could read people's mind? Like, nothing? You created a human being who could hack into Kryptonian tech, but you couldn't make some super lie detector test? Again, quite a very pointless death. The dude did not need to die at all. You know, I guess, well, oh, we're showing how evil Lex is, but we already know because he did this whole thing because he's jealous of Superman. Ay, ay. Well, deeper meaning, you're killing Clark, you're killing his love, humanity, whatever. Yeah, it's just, what's the point? I guess the point is to just torture Superman and show how powerless he is. I guess that's the point. It's still kind of boring though, but let's move on. No. I like bro, okay, I like Mr. Terrific and I like the Element guy. I want to see more of those two people. Again, it's so dissatisfying to see how simple the solutions are to what could have been such a tense search. The movie's 2 hours long, y'all. 2 hours long. And you could have had more scenes of Lewis being the Detective Lewis and more scenes of Mr. Terrific hacking into Lex's computer. Instead, it's just, oh, Jimmy has an obsessive girl after him who's dating Lex. Oh, Mr. Terrific just has magic machines. It's probably connected to the comic books, but still, it's so dissatisfying. Like, we really could have seen a scene of him, I don't know, struggling a lot more. Because they showed a struggle from Superman at the beginning. And then after that, it was relationship struggle. And then after that, it was just false struggle, like just forced nonsense. And now it's like, okay, real struggle to only just be immediately wiped away again. I know they still have to go into the dimension, but bro, dude got magic. Got magic. He's gonna solve it in 2 seconds. Bro, literally, it was that easy. Like, Lex does not have anything protecting whatever this is. He doesn't even have like an invisible shield. He doesn't have aircraft that can detect, oh, this is not an actual US military type this is not like a US military aircraft at all. This is something completely different. Oh, this is Mr. Terrific. Like, nothing. You can just fly here and wow.
One of those justice guys?
I am fully aware that he has the ability to track because of the DNA, but to recreate to completely recreate his figure chained up is insane. It's still magic, bro. It's still magic. Like, being able to come here and be like, oh, it's that tent would have been enough. It really would have been enough. Or seeing how he's hacking into stuff, like needs the sun to regenerate, so either this guy's gonna turn into a literal sun, which would be ridiculously overpowered, or he's gonna have to be a little bit more involved. But I like that. I like that he changed his mind because he saw a person die in front of him and realized, yeah, Lex is capable of actually betraying people and lying and just taking human life like it doesn't care, like it doesn't matter. So one is pretty cool because he's like a phoenix rising from the ashes, but also he's the hope of the world, like the son of the world. It's pretty cool and really well established. And the dude can make insane amounts of UV rays. That's crazy. That not insanely bad. Wait, is this how Joey gets his powers? Or from absorbing an anti-proton river or whatever? Dude can turn into any substance, even substances that are extraterrestrial, and that's your response. Okay. Some terrible guards. To see a movie with Element Man and Joey, man, I think that would be really cool, especially with his powers. And also, nobody called for Lex. Like, no one, there's no alarm system, or did he disable it? Looked so incredibly goofy. Oh my days. This movie has so many moments where they try to be serious and it's either cringe, just bad dialogue, or just goofy, or just weird. Like some scenes work, but what was that? Why? You know what could have been effective? The scream and things being destroyed, and that's it. Not a close up to his face. That could have been cool. Oh my word, that was insanely abusive. I get it, but like Lex Luthor's a trash person, but wow. Okay.
We need to find.
Why? Why? They're taking the petty thing to a whole new level of annoying petty. You know, like Lex is extremely petty, but annoying petty like this? But I guess some people find it funny, you know? I'm gonna go get tea or coffee or some. I need to brute force to the ending because the amount of dumb things in here that are just for a joke but also undermine the story. I bad for her. She feels like a very lonely person. I was wrong about her being vain and shallow in that way. You know, she's a much better character than I thought. And it's crazy how the side characters are so much better than the main ones, you know? Yeah, I was wrong about her, and I feel her pain, even though she is quite obsessive and seemingly crazy. I think she just means well and needs to express herself better. Come on, that's genius. She was gathering information through her selfies. Oh my word, that's a great twist. Phenomenal plot twist. Beauty, beauty. Okay, big up for that. Big. I hope that's what this is. Big up. And that is what that is, right? I'm gonna reserve hope. Reserve hope. Please tell me that was not a joke and it's not what I think it is. Because it would make sense why she's taking selfies at Antarctica, taking selfies while they're fighting to prove that she was there and therefore Lex was there. Because Lex has been seen all over with this woman. So please, 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 please. This is good too because her being in this room will be able to gather a lot more information about her boyfriend since he seems closed off, and that's her frustration, just the way that she did it. I just don't agree with, and she could have just been super clear about it, but again, she's very, very bad with relationships. Very bad.
Your hot ex is a genius.
Hot? I called it. Big up. I'm pretty sure everybody did. Amazing. That's a great. Oh my days, what a great. I'm sorry, girl. You are one of the best characters in this movie. I'm sorry. This man gonna open a black hole? Okay. I understand what they're trying to say. Lex is being killed by his own genius and obsession. But I don't know, bro. I feel like this Lex is a little off and is not doesn't nail the head because I'm thinking of the best Lex portrayal ever, and that was in the Superman animated series. Insane. That Lex in the animated shows was phenomenal. Like, geez, he was great. And maybe that is why I can't just accept this one because this plan is dumb. Lex would go back, lick his wounds, and come up with a better plan. This whole plan, by the way, has been dumb, and his choices are leading to him getting caught, and in the end, his downfall. And nah, Lex doesn't that doesn't really happen. It's about other people outsmarting him. It's about Superman outsmarting him, not about him making his own mistakes and errors that lead to his downfall. But I guess it's an adaptation, and this is a different Lex. And I guess, Mr. Lex, I guess, but it's still dumb because all this will be traced back to you. No one's gonna believe. Well, actually, no, no, no. The people in this universe are dumb. They're gonna believe anything, whatever. Anyways, that's a great shot of Superman being, woken up by the sun. It's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool shot. And by the sun. Oh, like woken? Awakened by the sun. What is woken? My brain is not. It's late. Awoke. The sun is waking him up. Whatever. That's what I'm trying to say. Just imagining Crypto just going for the mouth playfully or the leg and just ripping it off. That'd be crazy. That would be a crazy horror spin-off. Oh, imagine Brightbird and him having a dog. They would probably put it in there.
Understand.
That's a great point that he made because it's like reading a book, right? Everybody is going to have their own slight unique interpretations, whatever they get from it, and that's going to be reflective of them. Same with a movie. Any interpretations they have will be a reflection upon themselves, and so on and so forth. It's like the death of the author thing, where the story goes beyond the author's intentions and means something different for the audience, and they ascribe something different to that entire story, kind of like J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter series, yeah, and many other authors. And
They sent me here to hurt people.
like you said, you are what your actions are. That's what you are. You are literally what you perform on a day-to-day basis. That is who you are. And obviously you can change that, but that's who you are at the end of the day, regardless of your source of inspiration. This is like finding out that your favorite artist was like a terrible person who used to do bad things to people, and thinking because you liked his music, that's kind of a reflection on yourself. Or if you continue to like his music after, like it's still good music, that you're somehow terrible because of it, when not really. You are separating the art from the artist. It happens a lot. Obviously, does it say something about you? Because some people would never go back, sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a horrific person or that you're on the same level as them. But yeah, this is his realization, I guess. Best on-screen Pa Kent ever, because he's hitting it. His dialogue is clean. It's really good. I agree with that. Parents are here to help their kids become who they are. That's why they're here. Obviously, you should definitely raise your kids to be better people and not to be awful or not to do terrible things. But yeah, you are to raise your kid to become more of themselves and hopefully a very good, better version of themselves. Exactly. Regardless of what people say, regardless of what they would proclaim who they are, it's all about their actions. What do they do on a day-to-day basis, you know?
You might want to see.
Funny. I find it weird that she does not know anything about technology, but her dialogue there about something on the box, that's really funny and good dialogue. You see, This movie is capable of good dialogue. So what in the world was the beginning? What was that nonsense? Anyways, reminiscent of Man of Steel, not Man of Steel, the Snyder movies, Batman versus Superman. I think something similar happened, or like they had like an S on the roof, you know, when he was aura farming instead of helping people from a flood, which is crazy. And yeah, many scenes like that. They toned it down a lot for this movie, but I think too much to the point where it doesn't seem like they respect or care about Superman, which wouldn't be the case, but nice scene still. Is incredibly accurate because if someone that powerful saved y'all the last time, you're gonna want it to happen again. You're gonna want him to do a bit more, but you will want him and you will call for him. So realistic. And again, where was all these people when people were saying Superman's a murderer? I would have loved to see their reaction to all that news and maybe see them be like, nah, Superman wouldn't do that. That would have been cool because it would have been a return of faith to Superman saving them, but a return of faith, but they were never portrayed in a 2-hour movie, y'all. 2-hour movie. Firefighter looks so bored. Like, do Metropolis people just don't care about living? Like, they are so indifferent to just emergency situations and scenarios. It's crazy. Like, they just look bored. Some of these people look bored. Like, what are we doing? What is this casting? Who casted these extras? Who told them they should act like this? It actually makes me mad. Like, no one's running. No one, like, is like, you would see chaos, bruh. Not just one or two people. Sorry, people were running. Not just one or two people. You would see chaos. And you're just seeing these people like, oh, no, 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 no. Even though they know Superman is not here to help, they haven't seen him this whole time. They're acting like Superman's gonna show up. Yeah. Again, if this was a commentary about how people get lazy because someone else intervenes for them the whole time and therefore they become apathetic to the same dangers that they used to face and care about, that'd be something different. But this is just, what is this?
You're a kid.
At first, I thought Eve was just.
And I would have loved to see Lewis actually crack this and actually make whole discoveries and be able to connect all the dots. But no, we couldn't fit that in. We couldn't fit in one of the main people of the entire Superman franchise. The whole Superman thing, Lois Lane is there consistently. Yes, there are many comics where it's just Superman being ridiculously overpowered or whatever, but there's a whole comic book, a whole comic line about the death of Lois and how that messed up Superman to the point he was killing people, and we couldn't fit her in more to the story. And the times we did, it was other people doing things instead of her. Why?
Vasil Gurkos.
You see, that's Lewis, man, doing all the journalistic stuff that will literally help the plot in a significant way. And she's doing crazy stuff that a normal person would dream of doing. So, or would have nightmares about doing. So, that is Lois Lane. If this was ever tied back to Lex, he would literally be bankrupt. The amount of money needed, he would need to be Bruce Wayne levels of rich, and he would take such a hit. It would be 80% of his entire income, bro. Not even income, like everything. Like, this is bankruptcy for any super billionaire. Like, you're gonna have to fix all the roads. Like, how do you even fix this? Like, the amount of money needed to fix any of this is insane. You would need a time machine, basically. Like, this is crazy. There's no way Lex would be free after this. And the amount of companies that would collapse, oh my days, the stock exchange, the entire economy of America would suffer greatly because so many businesses would be instantly lost in a day. It's actually insane. and so many layoffs. Like, it would definitely spark a super recession, I'm sure. If the whole of Metropolis just got destroyed, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Great point. Is like, oh, you're flying. Okay. But the rift is literally splitting the world in half, which would kill everyone. So, like, what's the plan, Lex? I don't understand. I don't get. Oh, you have a flying office, okay? What is the plan after that? What is it? Seattle Aura Farm, of course. It looks sick, though. It looks amazing. Again, the whole thing of rising from the ashes, the sun.
There's a code.
Realized everything that they were saying was stupid, or she wants to be a part of his harem. I wonder which one was in her head. Made a lot of the Man of Steel fight with the two Kryptonians, but also Mr. Terrific should be dead, but I'm pretty sure he has some power or something, or he has a nanosuit, whatever, that's gonna help him survive. What is the incentive for these two, or at least her? She was like, oh, I want to bring down Superman. Okay, but the world is ending, and you were against this, so why are you still fighting? Nearly the exact same type of shot. Literally. Wow. He just copying the fight of Man of Steel. This happened in Man of Steel. Again, he was also fighting a man and a woman, remember? But also, the dude was covering his head, like pushing his head into the concrete, and Superman used his lasers. It's literally nearly the exact same fight and choreography. Like, what are we doing? You know that's gonna work, though. I don't understand. Like, can he do his breath thing and then that's it? Like, all those things would just come off of him, and then he could use his laser eyes. I wonder if he has fire breath in this one, but he could use his laser eyes, and then that's the end of it. Weird though. This is like a horror movie. This is like Alien. This is so weird. Lex is incredibly goofy, and I don't know if it's the actor or the writing. I don't know. It's just I can't take him seriously. I'm trying, and I cannot take him seriously. Right, so prediction time. Superman would have inspired the others, whatever they're called. They're not heroes. The other people, the Justice League gang, to actually come and help. That's what's gonna happen. I predict, anyways. Okay, that was absolutely lame. The amount of force, the explosion that would happen, not only because of how strong Superman is, but also just gravity in general. Like, dude, okay, that was incredibly underwhelming. It's absolutely nasty. It's so weird to be in a Superman movie, especially one that's like this and not like a darker portrayal. Like, it's just so weird. So it explains how they were able to get in at the Fortress of Solitude, as well as the powers and everything else. Again, Lex is kind of dumb in this movie, because you were able to replicate Superman's DNA, and you couldn't think of any other way to potentially, I don't know, give those powers to other people or clone more. I just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems like a very poor use of cloning technology. Again, just like Jurassic World Dominion. It's just, cloning is a insane feat, and it would be so useful, and yet every movie kind of just, fumbles the bag. Again, if he was stronger, he would have beat Superman with the engineer, because that would have been ridiculous to get over. And I understand you nearly killed him with the nano whatever, but if you couldn't kill him with that, how are you gonna kill him with just fists? Because you tried that already and you couldn't kill him. Like, the tension is so non-existent because we know Superman has survived this. The only form of tension I even remotely felt was when I didn't know how he was gonna get the nanites out of his lungs, as well as the Element Man with the kryptonite, because I didn't know how he was gonna get out of that. That's it. Here it's like, okay, you're gonna punch him, but when Superman flew close to the sun, the dude's punches were like hitting a wall. So this is whatever. This is such a pointless fight because you know what's gonna happen because you've seen it already. And that is assuming that Superman has no brains, which he does. And it's kind of sad, this portrayal, because they didn't show too much of that. In fact, they showed the opposite. Because in the animated shows, the comics, Superman does utilize his brain quite a lot. That's why he keeps beating people like Brainiac and outsmarting Doomsday and outsmarting you. But in this portrayal, it's not really that bright. That's why there was no tension. In fact, that was worse. Because again, Superman doesn't showcase his brains. Superman could have flew up, bro. He could have flew up and bang. But no, it has to be the rift. It has to be convenience. It has to be something else. Why? Superman is smart, guys. He actually can outsmart his opponents all the time. Anyways, yeah, I called this would happen. I'm pretty sure everybody knew this would happen. We've seen it already. We know that Superman is stronger than this person. There's no way Lex can know definitively that his clone is stronger because he never performed any test to determine that. So, this is the conclusion. The other flaw with this clone is that it also does not get stronger with the sun, because if that was the case, Superman would be dead. Effectively, there would be no way he could beat this, and this thing would just clobber his face in. But it's not getting stronger with the sun. It's an imperfect clone. Straight up treating him like he's literally God, like he's a deity, like, wow, okay. Man of Steel did this a lot, but this is straight up saying Superman is literally a god. So, but again, where were these people when Superman was called a whole groomer? Again, Green Lantern is ridiculously powerful, and there you go, casually destroying tanks. And it's like, why didn't you do this previously with the two other monsters you were facing? You also created a shield. Why didn't you create that shield for the bigger monsters that you were facing? Why didn't you create giant hands to grab onto that dimension or whatever thing and squeeze it to death? There's so much. Elemental Man is here, and I'm happy.
13L.
That was bad dialogue. That was bad dialogue. Why? Why? What a terrible response. Like, just blurt everything out with no characterization, nothing personal, just nothing. Not even denying it. Not like, okay. This is so cringe, and it's just so dumb. The dialogue, his acting, it's just
No!
So big brain Lex, super genius, better than Galileo and all these people, couldn't account for the dog that he knew existed, that he knew escaped, that he knows has the same powers as Superman. He also has laser eyes, literally the same powers. And you didn't account for that at all. Genius Lex, guys. Genius movie 2025 Lex.
Double down. I just said that already.
Okay, anyways, I did enjoy that Superman used his brain for once to win in a fight and outsmart Lex, even though Lex was being pretty stupid here and has been really the majority of this movie, apart from the whole Bolivian thing, which he lost because of his own incompetence with the girl. It's just, I hate Lex. Again, a scene without tension because the Raptors were literally cleaned up by Mr. Terrific. Cleaned up completely. And you think I'm gonna think Superman is gonna struggle with Crypto as well? Come on, get out of here, man. Wow, a black hole. That's insane. The black holes in here look absolutely terrific. Be cool, like super cool, would be that guy becoming Bizarro because he fell into the black hole and like something happened to him. And he ended up in obviously that other parallel universe or whatever. That would be sick. That would be cool if that was the explanation for creating Bizarro. It kind of wouldn't make sense, but you know, stuff in this movie kind of doesn't. I mean, Lex created a pocket dimension by recreating the Big Bang, you know.
Hey,
I love how he landed brutally and got up was like, nah, I'm cool. That was great. So again, turning Lex into a bit of a joke, and that should have ripped off his arm, by the way, because Crypto is being dead serious. It should have ripped off his arm, or like completely chewed up his shoulder, lacerations, just death. Not always thought he was. That's a lie. Y'all are a bunch of liars. Y'all literally turned on this man like this. Y'all turned on him like, wow. Like y'all always hated him. That's crazy. That's a lie. You do not think someone is a hero, and then because of what someone says on TV and a video that again you cannot confirm yourself, all of a sudden you switch on the person and say that he must be here to kill me. The guy's been saving your life. Anyways, he portrayed the hatred that Lex has for Superman in his face, and then they portrayed the sadness he has in his for Lex, like he pities Lex. You know, at least that was good.
Glad you're not concerned about the medic.
By the way, can Element Man, like, obviously we're made of carbon, so can Element Man turn into any human, like shapeshift into any person? I wonder. That'd be an insane power if he could.
Got this place cleaned up pretty good.
Notice that the falafel guy, the true hero, which yeah, he was. If he didn't die, okay, so now I'm gonna go back and say his death was important for the actual flip of Elemental Man, you know. Okay, his death was important for that, and that's why he's a true hero. I'm gonna talk about this, but again, Supergirl is gonna be like a vulgar person now, and is gonna be more like a peacemaker type hero in terms of language. I don't know about her behavior, but jeez, bro. Anyways, this is really nice, and this is really, really cool. But we are legitimately saying like Jor-El and his mom literally are villains. Like, that's what we're concluding with. Like, they legit wanted him to do villainous things, and it wasn't chopped up, it wasn't edited. I hope that in the next movie, maybe, I mean, it doesn't look like there's going to be a next movie, because this movie is doing terribly in terms of sales. Like, it is worse than Batman vs. Superman. It's worse than Man of Steel. It's worse than all of them, which is insane, by the way. But I'm going to get more into this, actually. Okay, so I don't really have an interest for a post-credit scene. I can watch that later. I just wanted to get into, if there is one, but I wanted to get into the adaptation thing. And it's pretty much exemplified by the ending, with Supergirl being vulgar and apparently partying on other planets. and then having Superman completely replace his, his parents with his adopted parents. And it's like, why did we need to do that? Why did we need to villainize his parents for them to be completely erased? You could have done that in a different way. Again, why do you need to do that? This is more of an adaptation issue again. I just don't like the way Superman is really portrayed in this movie at all. For me, I want Superman to be more of a paragon of an example towards people. I did say at the beginning that I love that he was vulnerable and he could be beaten, and that's happened in many adaptations of Superman and many different mediums. But he still would be a paragon in the sense of he still would be somebody who struggles, but he shows how you can get up from that struggle instead of someone who, you know, really doesn't showcase a lot of competency and is just super strong and gets bailed out by the sun, gets bailed out by other people, gets bailed out by his super strength when he should be a lot more than that, and showcasing how he can use his brains, which he didn't for so much of this movie apart from the end. And that was like one or two scenes or one or two fights here and there. Like, come on. And also, having that whole fight with Lois Lane and the way Lois Lane was portrayed in this movie, I just don't like this adaptation of Lois Lane. I don't. I like so many other adaptations. She doesn't need to be perfect, but man, I really did not like this adaptation of Lois Lane at all. And I felt like it was so unnecessary to make that false. It felt like false drama to me, changing Lois Lane to be this complicated, messy person when it comes to relationships and not even showing her skill set, her number one skill set of adapting to crazy situations and using her journalistic ability to solve issues and help Superman. That didn't even happen. If it was not for Jimmy Olsen, bruh, Superman would potentially be dead or being tortured right now, which is crazy. And I just don't understand why Jimmy Olsen had to have so much of a focus. Like, why? I don't get that. And I did love the whole Eve thing. I enjoyed Eve. I loved, the falafel dude. I loved Elemental Man. I loved Mr. Terrific. Was not a fan of Hawkgirl at all in this movie. Kind of just felt like a character that could be easily forgotten, to be honest. And Guy Gardner was just a jerk, and he is Guy Gardner as a jerk, so whatever. I never cared about Guy Gardner, so it is what it is. He was portrayed exactly how Guy Gardner would be, in my opinion. And then you had Lex Luthor. Man, I'm not a fan of Lex Luthor in this movie. Lex Luthor is supposed to be some crazy mega genius that is one step ahead of Superman all the time, and he was in certain instances in this movie, but then he killed himself because of the poor choices he made. Even when he discovered the selfies, he didn't make the connection. Or did he not see them? Did he not go through her phone? Like, I don't know. The Lex in this movie is just not Lex to me. It feels like a multiverse version of Lex, but a Lex that loses and is not even halfway competent compared to the other Lex Luthors. It just doesn't stack up to me, and I don't like this portrayal. Just like I don't like the portrayal of Superman and Supergirl and Lois Lane. Literally the main people. I just don't like their portrayals, and maybe this is the James Gunn effect, especially with Supergirl swearing. I know people say, oh, but you gotta allow them to grow up, and it's like, sure, you can have adaptations where they are like that, I guess, but I don't care for those adaptations. I don't. I like Supergirl being the way that she is in the comics. I like the way Superman is in the comics animated shows, and this has motivated me to actually watch the Superman 1978 movie, which is considered the best Superman movie of all time. I'm gonna go watch it now and react to it on this channel because I just did not like this portrayal at all. I just didn't, and overall the movie was okay. I can see why not a lot of people are buying into the movie and are waiting for digital because it's not that good for people to have to go to a whole cinema for it. It doesn't really have a lot of cinematic moments either to justify the seat as well. And just didn't like this. I didn't like it. It was just okay. I actually could have gone without watching it, to be honest, and I just don't like what they've done with the characters, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, the way that things flipped for Superman as well, just too rushed. But like I said, Mr. Terrific, Elemental Man, Eve, um, who else? There was some falafel guy. I love them. I love all four of them. The rest is whatever. The rest can pack it in. I don't care. I don't see how this movie gets a sequel or the James projects continue because of how bad this did. But we'll see. I'm not excited for Supergirl. Like, if Supergirl's gonna swear and be vulgar and make sex jokes, I don't care. I don't want to see that. For me, that's not Supergirl. Like, it may be for you, and that's fine. That's the adaptation you want. Great. That's not for me. That's just no. I don't want Supergirl to be that way. It's the same thing with Batman. Like, you can have a Batman that kills Thomas Wayne and still have another Batman. That's fine. Some people love Thomas Wayne a lot more than Bruce Wayne. Some people love Bruce Wayne and Batman. I am a Batman dude. I will continue to love superheroes who are what I grew up with, not, whatever that was. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on the movie. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people disagree, some will agree, whatever. I'm just gonna go watch the next Superman. And I think that one will actually be, what I want. So, check you later. And also, if you want to check my other movie reactions, go ahead.